Today, from Ford Field in Detroit, it's a special Thanksgiving Day presentation of the NFL on EA Sports. As we'll see Lamar Jackson and the Detroit Lions.
It's been a tradition since the early days of the NFL, and we're off on Thanksgiving Day in Detroit. And he opts to not bring this one out. The first drive will start at the 25. So here's the first drive now for the Jags. They're led by the #1 overall pick in the 2021 draft, Trevor Lawrence.
That was a solid performance last week, wasn't it? 2 touchdowns, no interceptions, ran the team well, won the ball game. Bottom line, may not have been earth-shattering, but it didn't need to be.
They start on the ground with Nick Chubb. And that is the kind of tackling they want to see all game, as he'll lose yardage to... Start things out. First play of the drive goes the wrong way. Here's 2nd and 12. They go play action now. Lawrence. He'll get this to Chubb out of the backfield. That'll wind up as a loss on the play, so now they're staring at a 3rd down and 12. This defense, Charles, really played well in that win a week ago.
And how'd you like to be the quarterback reviewing the game tape from last week and seeing this defense on the spot on almost every snap? If the ball was in the air, they took it away. If the ball was pop free, they picked it up. 5 takeaways in last week's game.
3 and out, a real danger here on their opening drive as they come up on a 3rd and 12. Now Lawrence to throw. Oh, that's into a double team, and it's intercepted. And the Lions are going to take possession of the football. Remember, Charles, this is the #1 defense in the NFL, and they proved their mettle here, forcing the turnover on the opening possession.
And sometimes when you play a team that has that reputation, it's earned it by their play. The psychology is, okay, they're #1. They have to prove it to us, and they tried to attack. They found out that that ranking was real.
And if history is any indication, when this defense gets off to a good start, look out.
Yeah, their offense plays off of them awfully well, too.
After the interception, here's Jackson. He's got his man. It's caught for a Lion touchdown. Ja'Marr Chase with career touchdown number 75. And the Lions use the early turnover to get on the board first here in this one. Week after week, Charles, when we see this offense operate, I don't know, they just seem to get more impressive.
They certainly do, and let's face it, it's no surprise they're the best in the NFL in scoring. This team designs things well and executes even better. And here, it only takes a few snaps before they're in the end zone. That's how they demoralize teams. That's how they put them on notice.
Out comes the kicking team here for the extra point. It's up, it's good, and the Lions lead 7-0. Well, they got the ball in great field position. One play later, boom, end zone. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. And this will not be brought out. It's a touchback. So time to see Jacksonville again on offense for the second time here in this game. Now remember, the last time out, they threw the interception. That led to the touchdown, so now time to regroup.
It certainly is, and their goal right now as they go back out on the field, a calming drive, something that takes the ball, keeps it for a while, lets the defense relax a little bit, and lets the offense regain confidence in their game plan.
First down yardage on the first play of the drive, 14 yards.
I think the reason that this play is so successful is not just the blocking at the point of attack, but how about the speed at which he takes the handoff? He's in motion already, so he's not coming from a flat start like a running back often is. He's at a full run by the time he gets the football.
So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10. Up the middle, it's Chubb. And he takes this up right near the 45-yard line. A check on the numbers for Chubb from a week ago. 16 carries, 73 yards, and a touchdown.
And even though it's a short week, running backs love when they're in a groove, and that's exactly where he is right now. He's hoping to feast a little bit more here on Thanksgiving.
The last run got 6, now 2nd and 4. And again, it's Chubb. Only a yard in the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 3rd down.
Well, Charles, this Thanksgiving tradition is so great. I mean, going back essentially through the full century of the NFL, I know you probably have a lot of fond memories of Thanksgiving Day football yourself.
I certainly do, and I don't have the Turkey Bowl tradition. You know, the families that go out and play and then come in and sit down to their feast and watch football. I remember reading about, the Lions jumping on the Packers on Thanksgiving Day. The only loss the Packers had in 1962, and they sacked Bart Starr over 10 times in that game. And I remember Dave Williams from the Bears returning the overtime kickoff for a touchdown to win a game on Thanksgiving Day. I remember so many different things happening, but how much fun is it each and every year to know that you got football on Thanksgiving?
Incomplete pass on first down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. Now they return to the ground game. Chubb. And this time he's going. So after the no gain on the last attempt, here they get him behind the line. 7th play of this drive coming up, but a long way to go on 3rd down.
Lawrence will throw. This will be taken in by Michael Pittman.
And he'll go out of bounds right around the 40. So now they're going to send out the field goal unit to, as they say, fire away from long distance. And this one will not get there. It's off to the left anyway. It's no good, and this will stay at a 7-point game. Back onto the field come the Lions for their 2nd overall drive.
As mentioned, this one of the hottest teams in the NFL, riding that winning streak into this one, but now playing here on Thursday night. Do you think that this helps or hurts their momentum?
Well, ordinarily, I'd say it hurts the momentum because now you've got that short week. But when a team's playing as well as they are, it actually allows them to down focus and only worry about themselves and less about their opponent. So when you're playing well, you just worry about the things you're doing well and let the opponent deal with that.
Eluding the pressure right.
And he'll be taken down, but not before they work this to the 45. The CD here, this offense at 11-0 now on the year. A few weeks ago, I remember asking you what kind of percentage chance that you thought they had at staying unbeaten the entire season. I think you said 25%. I'd imagine that number probably grown since then.
I would agree with you, and I'm going to actually bump it up to closer to 50%. Only because they still have some tough games to come. And keeping that focus throughout the entire season, that's been a really difficult thing to pull off. But so far, they've done it, and they've done it well.
Now Jackson apparently a little unsure of things, so he'll call a timeout. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this first quarter. From the 45 on 2nd down. Jackson.
And he's going to be taken down just shy of the 35.
No surprise to see him running again here. It's something he's done throughout this season. And that run puts him over 500 yards on the ground for the year. He's got to be thinking to himself, if I'm already at 500, what's to stop me from going for 1,000?
So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. Here's Jackson. And this is caught. Touchdown, Detroit.
Jameson Williams
With his 28th touchdown, drawing level with Sean Alexander for the second most in a single year.
And the Lions have taken a 13-0 first quarter lead.
He's tough to contain as it is, but in man coverage with a pretty deep pass downfield, really tough to contain.
And it's so difficult because every play you've got to consider he might try and run past you. So your goal as a defensive back is to give him plenty of cushion, meaning lots of space between you and him. If he wants to catch the short stuff, come up and secure the tackle, hit him a bunch during the game, and try and keep him in front. But if you turn your head for a second, if your concentration wanes,
bye-bye.
He just takes off and goes, and I think that's what we just saw there.
Here comes the Jaguars offense as they get set here. They come off a victory over the weekend, but now the quick turnaround here for this Thursday night game. How does that affect how teams like this approach these short turnarounds?
Well, wins and losses always factor into, how you're getting ready for the next game. But equally as important when you have the short turnaround, what is your injury situation? Are you losing key guys? And if so, how well have the backups prepared for this? Because you don't have much time to get them ready. They have to be ready before this week in order to play well in this game.
And up to the 35 before they're able to knock him down. 10 yards there, good enough for a Jags first down.
I have to admit, I'm excited by that play call and the end result, because this is a team that's down big early in the first quarter, and a lot of teams will just panic, abandon the playbook, and just start firing the ball all over the place. It's way too early for that. Stick to what works for you.
Down double digits, and we talked about their game plan being both running and passing there. You're right. They're sticking to the game plan, getting the ground game going.
A lot of football left to be played.
We've seen quite a bit of the short passing game here early on first quarter, haven't we?
We have, and I think it works a couple of ways for this team because, number one, you throw the short game until they stop it. And if they're not going to stop it, you keep throwing it, and occasionally you'll break a tackle and turn it into a bigger gain. Also, if they start to creep up, start to pressure receivers, now you go over the top, take it deep, and now you get some of those big shots downfield.
They run again on first down, Chubb. And he can only manage to get a couple. 2nd and 8 coming up.
Certainly a nice job there by the defense rallying to the football and getting him on the ground. But I think the play gets made by the defensive front. Because if they can't get upfield, their job is to go ahead and get low, almost get into a ball sometimes, stack things up, and make it difficult for the runner to find a hole.
Now a man open down the middle of the field. And it's going to be another first down as they'll get him to the ground at the Lions' 34-yard line. His first catch, good for 14 there and a first down. $13-0 is the score after one on EA Sports. This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. Lawrence.
They're looking for Kirk, but this pass is intercepted. Picked off by Patrick Queen.
There he goes, right side. A great pick, nice return, but you know he's just beating himself up inside for not getting all the way in.
No doubt about it, because he had visions of end zone in his mind. Going to be the total hero. But we did see there the emphasis on it's not just good enough to pick it off anymore. bring it back, get the yardage, and really help out your offense.
And they'll let the fullback try and take him home. And he'll get into the end zone. Touchdown, Detroit. Punching it in from a yard away. And the Lions are able to strike quickly to add on to their lead. So, Charles, that's 3 touchdowns on 3 drives, and it's just been an offensive barrage so far.
Great word, partner, using barrage right there. I'm going to add another word if you don't mind. How about perfection? No surprise that they're leading right now. Absolute dominance throughout this ball game and no signs of slowing down.
The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. From a couple yards deep, he'll bring it out of the end zone. And ultimately, he stopped right where he would have been if he had simply gone down to a knee at the 25. So already not the best of kick returns there, but that penalty, that adds insult to injury and backs him up even closer to the goal line.
Yeah, not ideal field position to begin a drive, is it? Because the extra pressure now goes on the offense. They've got to get some early yards and get away from the shadow of their own goalposts. What every offense wants to do in this situation, get 2 first downs to help out with field position at the least.
You know, thinking of this Thanksgiving Day game, Charles, for years we've heard the talk, why don't we open up these Thanksgiving Day games instead of just being Detroit and Dallas every year, give other teams a shot to host? I know you're kind of like me, a bit of a traditionalist, but what do you have to say to that, CD?
I think it's a great argument, and the league could support it quite well, where you could move to different spots and still be very successful on Thanksgiving Day. But you're exactly right. I am a traditionalist. I really don't want Detroit and Dallas to give up those slots. I like the fact that we watch them each and every year. But what I really like is that the league added a 3rd game. And
this is, oh my goodness, he pulled it in one-handed. A gain of 32 that time.
When they've needed a play this year, he's certainly been the guy to deliver it. As this season has gone on, he's been awfully consistent and sometimes spectacular.
So the line of scrimmage moves all the way across the 50 now as they come up 1st and 10. And Chubb will try the middle here. And he's got this down to the 35. That's over 40 yards of movement with those last 2 plays.
They're making it look easy out there. Another first down. So far on this drive, let me do this little bit of math here. 4 plays, 3 first downs.
That's a pretty good recipe for success. Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. Now Lawrence. Toward the center of the field, but it's incomplete.
So it looks like they still have some fight in them on this series because it seemed like things were headed for the red zone. But this defense gets 2 more stops. They can keep them out of that area.
2nd and 10. Here's Lawrence again. Throw right side is going to be caught by Kirk.
And they'll work this down inside the 30.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before you get a good head of steam going.
He finds his man complete. It's Morgan. And they do get him down, but not before he's able to slip it inside the 5-yard line. They're able to convert on third down, and that sets up a 1st and goal.
And this is an offense in need of getting a few good things to happen. Here's one right here. They've had their share of struggles in key moments, but that's a nice throw and nice work after the
touchdown Jaguars. A great effort there. His 5th touchdown now on the year.
And the Jaguars go nearly the length of the field and finish it off with 6 points.
Extra point right down the middle. And that cuts this lead down to 13. So that drive takes him down the field in 8 plays. And it culminates in a Jags touchdown.
Taking it about the 1. And a good effort on the return there. Gets him across the 30, up to the 33. Detroit's offense ready to take over. And they, as mentioned, unbeaten to this point in the year. But you think this game, their toughest test yet?
I absolutely do, because to me, this is a good measuring stick game because they've been able to take advantage of the schedule. But here, this is another team leading its division with an eye on making a Super Bowl run, so this game is crucial.
And that is incomplete. Oh, the coverage a little too good there, and it's 2nd down.
Flush to his right.
And he'll find Chase on the right side, complete.
And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. On 1st and 10, it's Jackson. And that one incomplete, but now a penalty flag coming in late. That might be PI. So the contact came before the ball got there, and the flag is thrown.
Timing is everything, isn't it? And it's so hard to cover these great receivers. They have such great body control, and they can fake you out. In this case, as you described, got there before the ball got to the receiver. Penalty flag had to come out.
A gain of 3, 2nd down.
Just not a whole lot of room to operate there on that carry.
No, not at all. They did a really nice job staying in their proper places and not allowing any lanes to open up.
The last run got 3. Now here's 2nd and 7. Now it's Jackson.
Quick slant caught by Chase.
And he's going to have another 1st down as the tackle's made. The Jaguars' 15-yard line. Inside the red zone here. They'll look to throw. Flushed out right. And out of bounds all the way down at the 3. A nifty bit of scrambling there. 12 yards, 1st down.
Obviously, a big play was needed, and you can see his eyes light up as he realized there's absolutely no one in front of him. And he takes off and goes a long way. Not only does he pick up a 1st...
And that is caught. Touchdown, Detroit. From 3 yards out, as his guys are able to push that lead out a bit further. And all about timing there on that short slant, Charles.
Exactly right. That was timed up so well. The route, the throw, touchdown.
Now the try here for the extra point. And that one pushes the lead up to an even 20. That time a 6-play drive. And the end result, a Detroit touchdown. is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. And here comes a return from just beyond the goal line. And he'll be stopped right around where he would have been had he gone down to a knee, maybe a yard shy of there at the 24. The offense trots back out there. Let's turn our focus now to Nick Chubb. And he's sure looking like a lock for a 1,000-yard season. Don't know if he's going to get it in this game, but he'd probably like to just to get past that point.
Yeah, and if he doesn't, as you noted, there's still time, still opportunity. There's still more games to be played. So, yeah, it's not a lock, but barring injury, it certainly looks like he's going to get there. And what an accomplishment that is. Anytime you get over 1,000 yards, you're celebrated in the NFL.
It's been quite a season. Still a couple chapters left in that book, though. The drive starting with a first down, 11 yards on that pickup. And we've hit the 2-minute mark in this first half of action. Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. Looking to throw, Lawrence. Open man is Kirk, complete. And brought down, but not before reaching the 45-yard line. On 1st down, Lawrence. And he can't find anywhere to go with it, and he goes down. Now you've got to hustle your guys to the line and get them set. After the sack on 1st down, Lawrence. And that's good for a gain of 6. And they're going to face an uphill battle here on 3rd and long. They go up the middle with Chubb. And he'll take this up over the 40 to about the 41. Just a 2-yard pickup, and that should necessitate a call for the punt team here on 4th down. Here's Jack Fox on to punt. He was only asked to punt once in the victory last week as he sends this one away. It'll be a 39-yard punt, no return, and the Lions will take over. Ja'Marr Chase hoping to be at center stage yet again as the offense returns to the field. He's doing what he's capable of, having a solid game. Not the most amazing game. He's not over 100 yards, but a good game so far.
And you just know that mentally he feels like he's one catch away from turning it into a great game and starting on that road. And the defenders are well aware of that too. They've got to figure out a way to not let that escalate.
He's got a man, complete. Touchdown! A big play there. 2 catches, 2 touchdowns here so far. And the Lions are able to widen their lead here in this first half.
Boy, Charles, this offense is just so explosive. They lead the league in scoring, and another example of just how good they are right there on that play.
Yeah, we often overstate about how explosive teams are, but this team is truly a threat to score on every snap, especially on the first few plays of any series. And a big streak like that only adds to their reputation as the league's best offense.
So the Lion offense staying on the field as they're going to try for two. They'll give it to the fullback up the middle. And he will ball his way in there for the 2 points. Nothing fancy there on that 2-point try. Give it to the big boy and let him go to work.
That almost felt like sandlot football that we used to play, didn't it? Biggest guy on your team who can carry the ball, hand it to him and let him rumble.
Nobody picked me on the sandlot football team.
You were quarterback, and I know better.
I was the water boy. Here are the Lions now as they line up and kick this one away. And not wanting to risk anything here late in the half, he'll just take a knee and they'll bring the football out to the 25.
The Jags and Christian Kirk making their way back out on offense.
He's been good so far to this point in the second quarter. Need to get him even more involved, maybe?
I would agree with that. Definitely. Yeah, it's not even a question for me. The way he's playing, he's doing a nice job. Increase things. More touches, more opportunities. Maybe that can reverse things on the scoreboard for them.
They'll try to ratchet things up then maybe here in the second quarter.
Oh, this one incomplete. The pressure got to him as he released it. And it's second down.
To this point, I've been impressed with the work defensively. They have not allowed a lot of receivers to run free. And there's another example, another incompletion.
Following the incomplete pass, here they go again. 2nd and 10 from the 25. Not wanting to take a chance this time, they'll keep it on the ground. And he'll just keep 2 hands on the football as he'll be taken down after a short pickup. 4 yards the gain, and it'll bring up a 3rd down. And now they'll take a timeout defensively. After the 2nd down play, they burn the timeout, making them sweat out the final few ticks here in the second quarter. The white flag coming out as they line up to kneel on it. The final second ticks by, and that's going to do it for the first half of play. So we're at halftime here in the annual Thanksgiving game in Detroit. As we'll send you down to Orlando, and we check in with Jonathan Coachman for our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
All right, Brandon, thanks so much. We'll get back to you and Charles in Detroit in just a moment. But first, let's take a look at what's following our 2 games later today.
Halftime over, no problem with us. We skip right to the 3rd quarter and continue this midseason contest.
Plenty to look forward to in that early window. One being a noontime start up in Green Bay. A big one for the Packers as they'll get set to tangle with the Minnesota Vikings.
The Lions offense now with the football first here to begin quarter number 3.
Well, it's hard to imagine the first half going any better for them, CD, and now here as they begin their first series of the second half. I mean, they score here. This one, it's pretty much out of reach.
We honestly might already be...
There he goes, left side. Trotty.
They're trying to tiptoe the pylon, but they're going to say he's... at the 1-yard line.
Well, partner, I'm not sure how this drive's going to end, but how about the way they flip field position there? A nice attacking play. They picked up a heck of a chunk of yardage.
After the big play, a chance to finish now on 1st and goal. And they'll turn to the power game to try to get in. And he takes this one in for a Lions touchdown. It's the fullback with his 2nd touchdown of the afternoon. And the Lions come right out of the locker room and score here in the opening minute of the 3rd quarter.
Extra point splits the uprights, and the lead grows even larger here in the third quarter. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. This taken in at the goal line. And ultimately cannot get this out to the 25-yard line as he's dropped at the 23. Here comes the Jags offense now. Time for their first possession of half number 2. Lawrence bringing the Jaguars up, 1st and 10 at their own 23. Play action. It's Lawrence. Oh, he dropped it. And that's pretty indicative of the way this one's gone. After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10. Here's Lawrence. Over the middle, complete. It's Hawkins. And they're able to get this one across the 35. That one good for a gain of 13 for Jacksonville and a first down. Now Lawrence. He'll get this one to Pittman. It'll go down as a gain of 6, and it'll be 2nd down. Off the play fake. Here's Lawrence. Over the middle, and it's incomplete.
And there's another stop. One of the league's best defenses is certainly bringing it again this week.
Christian Kirk, the man he was looking for, and it's 3rd and 4. In search of 4 yards here to pick up the first down. Here's Lawrence to throw. Oh, had his hands on it, couldn't bring it in. Pretty symptomatic of how this game's been going. And the Jaguars send out their punter as he'll kick it away for the 2nd time. Seven yards on the return after a punt of 39. And out will come the offense as they take over. Now this offense back out and set to go for their next drive. Well, this offense, this team, they are rolling right now, Charles. They've scored on 3 straight possessions. You look at the scoreboard, and they pretty much right now got this thing on cruise control.
Yeah, and this is that time of game where you and I have to be prepared, right? Isn't this kind of like that empty the bucket time where you have to go into your blowout material and make sure we have some different things? That's what we're staring at right now, the way this one is going.
Now Jackson on first down. He's going to loft one deep left side here. That's into a crowd and intercepted. Picked up by Andre Cisco. And the Jags are going to take possession here at their own 47-yard line. Well, with the size of lead that this offense has, I don't think that interception's really going to affect them much. But at least for this defense, something small to hang their hat on.
Yeah, and let's face it, they're not even scoreboard watching anymore, right? They're just trying their best to make a play, get themselves off the field, which they just did, and salvage a little bit of pride in this one.
The last run got a couple. Here's 2nd and 8. Back to throw. Lawrence. This is complete to Hawkins. And he'll be brought down on the other side of midfield at the 43.
And the tight end is certainly a position built to move the chains because they can control space underneath. If they've got good hands, then, of course, they're a dynamic target. But one other thing is they're right in the sight lines of a quarterback on just about every play. And that makes it easier for the quarterback to pick him out and deliver.
49 yards rushing for him now to this point.
And there we saw one of the downsides of blitzing during a rundown because sometimes you get out of your gaps. You don't fit the run quite as well because you're headed towards the ball carrier with abandon.
2nd down, here's Chubb again. And this time not quite to the 30. It'll be down at the 31-yard line. A gain of 5, good enough for the first down.
And that's a nice pickup of a first down on that 2nd down run. And at that yardage gained, they can run that play on any down.
Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10. Looking to throw. Lawrence under pressure, and he will go down. Sacked back at the 38. No surprise there. Chase Young wrecks that play with a sack. Well, he was really focused downfield, but there was really no viable options. The coverage was too good.
And the defense really quickened the tempo of that play with their pass rush because there was nowhere for him to go with the football. The only place he ended up, down on the ground.
Oh, Chubb fumbled it, and this is scooped up by the Lions. And they will finally get him as he's all the way down near the 40-yard line. He has been a workhorse for them in this game, and ball security hasn't been an issue until that point.
Yeah, and let's face it, when he's going to carry the ball that many times, he becomes more and more of a target for the defense, knowing that he's going to be the primary guy. They'll just send more and more players towards him, trying to make sure they knock the ball free.
He's going to go out of bounds, but he takes this one down just shy of the 20. An excellent pickup of 20 yards. Now Jackson. Over the middle, that's caught by Ridley.
And he's going to be marked down just outside the 10.
This offensive game plan has just been sensational. I mean, when you think about all the different ways they've gotten their receivers open so far, it's really been impressive. Scheme, design, execution.
Back-to-back good plays have him on the move on first down. To throw is Jackson. Escaping the pressure right. And he's got his man. It's caught for a Lion touchdown. A great play there. With his third touchdown of the ball game, number 12 on the season.
And the Lions have taken a 6-touchdown lead. Well, familiar refrain, a turnover leads to a touchdown, and that lead grows even wider now here in this third quarter.
Yeah, partner, I'd say there are a lot of grins breaking out on that sideline because, let's face it, they came in thinking they were in for a real fight in this game, but this one's been about as one-sided as we've seen in a while. In addition, if you're a backup, time to start stretching and loosening up. You may get some playing time in this one.
And he will bull his way in there for the 2 points.
I guess when you're hot, you're hot. I mean, I would just go ahead and take the extra point and move on, but apparently they've got something to prove. Almost feels like something was said this week, and they wanted to make sure that they laid it on them in this game.
The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away.
And it'll come out to the 25 as he will not attempt to return.
The offense trots back out there. Let's turn our focus now to Nick Chubb. And he's closing in on that number that all running backs circled beginning of the year, the number 1,000. Could do it on this drive.
And you have to think to yourself that this moment, getting to this spot, it started in the offseason, right? Not just the workouts, right? Not just getting yourself physically prepared to play, but mentally, as well as your team, as well as your unit, head coach, offensive coordinator. We run the football. We give you opportunities. He's taking advantage of it.
And when you get this close to the mark, you just hope things don't tighten up, right? You probably want to get there and get it in your rearview mirror.
You really do, don't you? Because now it becomes predominant, and you wonder about play calling as well. Do you want to call plays to get that out of the way, or are you still calling plays to win the game first? That becomes the burden of the play caller.
On play action, Lawrence. He's going to drop this one down for Chubb.
And he'll get it out near the 40 to the 39. 9 yards to pick up there, and it's a first down.
Well, that was a pretty favorable situation there. What would you call that? Second and manageable? Smart play, too. Didn't force it downfield when he didn't have it. Just checked it down, let him get the first down, and that's exactly what he did.
On first down, they'll run with Chubb. And he's going to get a solid gain of 9 before being brought down. Second and right at a yard.
There's so many definitions of a complete back. I think most people think a guy who can block, a guy who can catch, and a guy who can run. But how about when you put it all together as a runner and you can fake people out, you can be shifty, and also run with some power and break tackles, as we just saw on that pickup.
He'll take a shot downfield for Pittman.
And he drops it incomplete. And their struggles continue here.
Well, they certainly aren't letting up today, partner, because they've forced big turnovers already. And it's been incredibly tough for them to get yards against, let alone put points up on the board.
Try to get one more in here before the quarter breaks. They'll run for it. Here's Chubb. And he'll be brought down at what's going to turn out to be the final play of this third quarter. We're on to the fourth here on Thanksgiving Day. We'll return with more after this. This is the NFL, and it's on EA Sports. So the ball moves into Lion territory now. Here's 1st and 10 at the 48-yard line. Back to throw. Lawrence. Looking left side, and he's got a man. That's Morgan. And he is out of bounds, but not before he's inside the 30. They call it a gain of 19, and it moves the chains.
On 1st and 10, it's Lawrence.
That's going to be caught by Kirk.
Down inside the 10.
Touchdown, Jaguars. Chris. Kirk, 29 yards.
And the Jags get a small measure of revenge as they cut into this fourth quarter deficit.
Point after, right down the middle, as they make the score just a slight bit more respectable here in the final quarter of play. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away.
Fields it right around the goal line.
And they're going to have poor starting field position as he's out of bounds at his 10-yard line. And Detroit getting set to go now.
And they just continue to roll right along, really. This has the looks of yet another victory as they hope to polish it off here in quarter number 4.
And that's going to be incomplete. Tough to hold on to that one. It's 2nd down. Play action. Now Jackson rolling to his right. He's got a man. Complete. And in for the Lions touchdown.
Ja'Marr Chase.
His 2nd touchdown of the afternoon.
And the Lions add on to their lead, and it's looking like that win streak is going to extend another week.
Extra point right down the middle. And this one was over a while ago as they just add on to that big lead. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away.
And this will not be returned. It'll come out to the 25.
And out now comes Jacksonville as they get ready to go.
And just looking ahead, it would appear that that bye week is coming at the right time. They'll have 2 weeks to chew on this one, though probably not one that they want to chew on. A poor performance from start to finish. Lawrence's throw here taken in by Morgan.
And he's taken down but able to slip across the 35. Solid way to start the drive. 13 yards, picking up the first. So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. Out of the gun, they'll look to throw.
He'll find a man over the middle. It's Pittman. And they're going to get this up to midfield. Now, this is certainly one of the bigger losses that we are going to see for quite some time. And you have to think at this point where we're at in the fourth quarter with how wide this advantage is. For this offense, they're just trying to end things with a pop.
And he fumbled it. It's on the ground. And this is scooped up by the Lions. And his guys are going to get the football at their own 47-yard line.
And I don't know that fumble is going to matter a whole lot. You look at the deficit here in the fourth. It doesn't matter. The coach on the sideline still scratching his head.
Yeah, not only scratching his head, but probably writing a note or two about, we're going to address this come practice next week because...
This is caught inside the 15. Touchdown, Detroit. Jamar Chase, 53 yards. And the Lions are going to be moving on to 12-0 as they extend their lead further. And now once again, they'll line up to go for two. They'll give it to the fullback up the middle. And he will bowl his way in there for the 2 points.
I think this is just going to be a function of the times we live in now. Very similar to the bat flip in baseball. Everyone's got to start to get comfortable with this. But to me, this is just rubbing it in. You got a big lead. Go ahead and take the extra point. One thing to keep in mind, though, karma's still out there, and sometimes has a way of catching up with you.
And tackled at the 21-yard line, so a net negative there of 4 yards. Jaguars come to the line to start their next drive. Where we stand right now in the fourth quarter, this one pretty much out of reach. And, Charles, I know they're going to be disappointed about several things with this ball game, but the self-inflicted wounds, they've had several turnovers. You would have to think that's going to be something they're going to discuss heavily in the film session in the coming days.
You're absolutely right about that, partner, because they're going to have to sit in that film room and watch every error that they made and figure out how to not do it in the future. And mentally, I think a lot of the guys are already starting to think about, okay, how do we put this behind us and get better for the next time out? This, they'll use as motivation for the rest of the time that they play to hopefully never be in this type of situation again.
Well, a touchdown here on this drive, it wouldn't really put much of a dent in the score, the deficit right now. But as you've mentioned in the past, CD, their coach is probably just hoping to see something executed correctly on this drive before we close out the ball game.
Yeah, and I think that every guy is... field has to feel exactly the same way, because if not, they might be looking for replacements. Treat every drive as if it's your last and make it a successful one in some small way.
Now Lawrence on first down. Throw left side, taken in by Pittman. And he's going to get this down near the 25. Still a few inches short of a first down as they come up now on second down. They'll stick with the passing game as he looks to throw. And this throw a bit late as he couldn't reach back for it.
That incompletion is not a surprise with the way that this one has gone, and the frustration of body language is evident everywhere. This team, they've really been put through the ringer in this one.
Lawrence on third down. He finds his man complete. That's Morgan. And it's going to be another first down as they'll get him to the ground at the Lions' 15-yard line. A give. This is Chubb. And he'll get about 3 just outside the 10, stopped at the 11. Can see this quite a bit on running plays with the guys out wide. A lot of times, though, it doesn't get caught.
You're exactly right, because it's away from the play usually, so a lot of it goes undetected. But I know this will surprise you. I coach some receivers in the offseason. We work a lot on hand placement and blocking downfield. Might want to take that course.
Meanwhile, Lawrence is thrown into the hands of Pittman here. And they're going to be set up now with the ball at the 13-yard line. The Lions will use the first of their timeouts. That'll leave them with 2 remaining. We'll be back after this. Second down and 8. They go play action with Lawrence. He's going to get this one out to his fullback. And they've got this down to about the 12-yard line.
As a defense, you're more balanced when you're in zone coverage, because you're able to keep your eyes on the quarterback and see the play develop in front of you. You're able to keep the quick pass in front of them and stop it right at the line of scrimmage.
And it'll be intercepted. Picked off by Kirby Joseph. And the Lions are going to take possession here as they've got it at their own 4-yard line. Oh, my goodness, CD. I mean, this defense just continuing to dominate. They're really dominating on both sides of the ball. But for the defense, that's now 3 interceptions for them here in this ball game.
And what a great teaching tape for this defensive coordinator, right? When they go back and review this game, what does he always tell us that he preaches to his team?
And he's free going down the left side. It's a foot race. And they are going to score again. Yet another touchdown as they just add to their totals. Another touchdown here in the fourth quarter. And, Charles, I think we can start to consider that this undefeated streak of theirs is going to be safe for another week.
And, partner, you don't make it this far into a season without a loss unless you're getting contributions from both sides of the ball and sometimes even your special teams. And that's been true today. Each side helping guide them to this late lead.
Here we go now as they will again try for two. They'll give it to the fullback up the middle. He will bowl his way in there for the 2 points.
Personally, I'd rather see him kick the extra point there than to go for two, but it almost feels like there's a story within the story here. I mean, this isn't college. You know, size of victory, that matters in those games. Here, all you have to do is win by 1 point. That's all that you need. Instead, they go for it, get two. You got some pretty ticked-off folks on the other sideline now.
Here are the Lions now as they line up and kick this one away. And he won't return this one. He'll go down to a knee, and they'll start at the 25. And now this offense comes back out onto the field. Well, we said it at halftime that they would need a nearly perfect second half to erase that deficit that they were facing, CD. But unfortunately, the second half has pretty much been a carbon copy of the first.
Yeah, that early lead was almost insurmountable the way their opponent was playing. And, partner, they do have some good news, though. This one is getting close to being over, and they can try and hit the reset button starting tomorrow. Tell you what, partner, after he ices down, he's going to need a nice long soak in a hot tub after this one. He's been under duress the entire game.
Oh, yeah, once again, hit as he throws. Fortunate that one wound up incomplete. To throw once more on 2nd and 10. Lawrence, he'll be dropped after a gain of about 6 across the 30 to the 31. So it's Jaguar football here as we welcome you back. They face a 3rd down now as they try to find a late score. Looking to throw. Lawrence. And that will be incomplete. Well, they weren't scared to let it fly, but it falls to the ground and brings up 4th down. And the Jaguars send out their punter as he's on to kick it away. And a fair catch signaled for and taken just outside the 20-yard line. So possession goes over here on the punt. And it will be 1st and 10 as they take over. Ja'Marr Chase hoping to be at center stage yet again as the offense returns to the field. What a game for him, Charles. 4 touchdowns. Heck, for a lot of guys, that's a good season number.
You're exactly right. And let's face it, we have to stand up and applaud this one, even though we're supposed to be neutral, because this doesn't just happen by accident. This isn't 4 times where the defense just falls down or breaks coverage. He's worked awfully hard, changing routes, changing areas, changing angles, and getting open for touchdowns.
We knew he'd be part of the game plan in a big way, and it has been in a very big way. And they work this well upfield across the 45. 25 yards that time. Partner, I know we're still in the afternoon slate here. Some primetime games still on the docket, but it's going to be tough to top this effort. What an offensive performance we have seen. They have been unstoppable. There he goes left side. And he's going to get this down inside the 5 before he's out of bounds. A big play there for Detroit. And even 50 yards.
Even with the big lead here in the 4th, it still bombs away. And frankly, it's working. Why should they stop? Go ahead and keep firing away and gaining those yards.
After the big play, a chance to finish now on 1st and goal. A give to the fullback on the dive. And he'll keep working toward that end zone as he's down to about the 2-yard line.
And again, they'll go right back to their fullback. And he will get into the end zone. It's another touchdown. This thing is ugly.
Well, business as usual for them. Well on their way to another victory. Riding a serious wave of momentum from what we've seen. And so far, they haven't met their match. So if you're going to play this team in the future, your mission is clear. You better be ready to play and match their firepower.
Now the Lions again lining up for the two-point try. They'll give it to the fullback up the middle. And he will bowl his way in there for the 2 points. Here are the Lions now as they line up and kick this one away.
And this will not be returned. It's a touchback, and they'll begin at the 25.
Out comes the Jacksonville offense as they get set to take over here.
Well, CD, it's all window dressing at this point. I mean, the best they can do is end the game with a nice drive to maybe build some momentum to move forward into their next contest.
Yeah, with how lopsided this game has been, even one score might not do a lot of cosmetic good on the scoreboard, partner, because it's just about looking forward at this point. Get a touchdown here, give yourself some positive momentum and reps to focus on when you get back to practice in the next couple of days.
Throwing now, Lawrence on first down.
And his throw's going to be incomplete.
At this point, down big, you'd have to imagine this defense are just going to sit back, blanket the field as best they can.
Yeah, this is actually the easy part of the game for them because, just as you noted, they can sit back, keep everything in front of them. But they've blanketed the field the entire game using a variety of coverages.
An incomplete pass leads to 2nd and 10 from the 25. Back to throw. Lawrence. And he can't get rid of it. He's taken down. The defense rising to the challenge and setting him back on the sand.
We all know he's one of the better quarterbacks in the league, but definitely not today. His team trailing by multiple touchdowns and a late sack. Just a parting gift from the defense for him to take back to the locker room with him.
So now after the sack of Lawrence, the Jags looking at a 3rd and long.
And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today.
Picked off by Patrick Queen. And the Lions are going to take possession of the football.
Yet another mistake after the interception there. And gosh, you look up at the scoreboard, they just got to be thinking this one cannot get over fast enough.
It certainly can't. And also what happens when you get this big of a deficit?
All right, rifles one, and that's going to be intercepted. Picked off by Grant Delpit.
He's got daylight. The 40. The 20. And he will take this one home. It's a touchdown. This game still... well in hand, but I think now you go conservative, don't you? Go into your shell, just run the football.
I think you have to, but you also have to tell your backs, make sure you're really protecting the football because you're going to run into a stacked defensive front, which is why they were throwing the football before, trying to make sure they just get their backs, really beat up in that situation. Now, good luck to them.
And that one will bounce out of the back of the end zone, so we will start here at the 25. Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive.
Well, they came into this one with a vision, Charles, and it has played out exactly as they had hoped, if not even better. They've got the huge lead here, and now the football for the final moments of the 4th.
Yeah, and it was apparent that they were the better team, right? We figured that out pretty early. But give them a lot of credit for staying with it. They didn't stumble around out there. They didn't create a lot of errors for themselves because they were the superior team. They took care of business and closed them out pretty quickly.
Well, fans usually love to see scoring, and there was no shortage of it today. What a dominant showing from an offense that was truly playing at an elite level in this contest.
Partner, this game was over a long time ago, and you noticed they did not want to slow down anything. Absolutely a dream scenario for everyone on that offense, and they took advantage of every second. Guaranteed popcorn for everyone in their film session.